United States submarine base at Key West, Florida. A dispatch that quoted President Truman's press secretary, Charles Ross, as saying that President Truman has no knowledge of any secret project by this government that would give substance to the existence of such objects. Ross also said that both the Air Force and the Navy deny that such objects exist.
Hey, what's up? My name is Noelle, and I am by the bucket hot spaghetti to go.
Ooh, and I'm Chelsea. I'm the last piece of serotonin just hanging on by a thread.
Both of our things are true because I saw a eating establishment called Buckets of Hot Spaghetti.
Oh my god!
And I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's
for real.
It's all in the name. You can't even be like, what is this? Because
Yeah,
they tell
what do you mean, what is it? Yeah, it's a bucket of spaghetti for like $25, which, first of all, horrendous prices.
Yeah, that's kind of a rip-off.
Horrendous. You could make a fucking vat of spaghetti for $5, so you're paying $25 for a bucket, and it's cold and soggy and nasty.
I feel like every time I'm cooking pasta or spaghetti anyway, I'm always accidentally making a fucking bucket full anyway.
Exactly.
So
Just leave it up to Utah to make like another weird ass food establishment that's so niche it's disgusting.
yeah, someone was like, this is the best idea I've ever had in my life. And it's like, is it though?
I mean, their under over is probably incredible. If they even sell one bucket, they're paying everyone's wages.
You're probably right.
Imagine they're getting
that.
like the pasta and the red sauce wholesale, so it's probably 25 cents.
It's just Costco. It's just
Yeah.
Costco stuff.
Oh, fucking hell.
Well, we're on to them.
Yeah.
And the buck stops here.
I'm not trying to say don't support local business, but I'm just saying do the math yourself, you know? I'm just saying do the math yourself. So speaking of doing the math yourself, what are we doing? You're leading this episode today. I have no idea what we're talking about. I'm very excited.
So this is one of the... So now and then, Noelle and I will stumble across an interesting concept, and then we'll start to write an episode for it, and then it ends. It's like we'll get a page and a half in, it has potential, and then nothing comes from it. So we put it aside. So we have like episode ideas, and it's just document upon document upon document of like unfinished episodes. And this was one of them. But it actually became something more. It was originally just a 4-pager. It didn't reach our standards for episode length, but then I kind of dove into it a little bit more and I found some more fun stuff. So this is what we're doing today.
I love that. I love when you can circle back to something and it like re-flourishes, re-blooms. Because there are so many episodes where I'm like, this is going to be a great fucking topic. Like the one that we love so much, or like the brainchild of Nick, the potential that was Nick Cage being Superman. That sounds like a fantastic episode, but really it's like 2 pages. It's actually a very simple story as to what happened. And it's not that interesting. And that, you know, breaks your heart because then you just sit on this like 2 pages and you're like, I don't really know what else to do here. So I love that you circled back to this and actually finished some of the unfinished work we have.
And I can even tell you the point where we get to it where that was it. But let's talk about it. It's Clarita Villanueva.
Nice job.
Thank you. I was actually a little surprised. A lot of stuff from the Philippines has like a ton of Spanish influence because a lot of the words that I stumbled across, I'm like, this feels like Espanol. And apparently I have
a feeling. Yeah, I have a feeling that's not because of good reasons. Have a feeling. Yeah.
It's 100% not.
Yeah, anytime, you know, you see like Spanish influence in another country, you're just like, that probably was not good. That probably was actually horrendous.
It wasn't. So,
yeah.
And I think if we wanted to do the super correct pronunciation, it would be Clarita Villanueva. But we're just going to call her Clarita for this. And she had a tragic upbringing. She was born to a self-professed psychic mother in the 1950s, Manila.
That's cool.
That is a little cool, but her father was not in her life. So she spent the majority of her childhood like literally tied to the hip of her mother, who could only make ends meet by hosting seances and fortune-telling in their home. It didn't bring in a lot of money, so she was already kind of set up for a hard life. But things only got worse for Clarita because at 12 years old, her mother just suddenly passed away.
Probably from all the seances.
Yeah, the ghosts got her ass. And Clarita fell into the unfortunate and obvious trade for girls in similar positions and turned to sex work to support herself. So for the early part of the 1950s, Clarita was in the streets of Manila, and that's how she got by day to day. She took to hanging out at bars to get male customers and was successful enough at this until the age of 17, when she made the mistake of soliciting a plainclothes police officer on May 10th, my sister's birthday, who ultimately, yeah, I know. Shout out Becca, who ultimately arrested her for vagrancy, despite her being a homeless minor. Of course they did. So, regardless of this fact, she was hauled off to the Manila City Jail, which was then known as the Bilibid Prison, which in and of itself is hell on earth. It's a 300-year-old fortress-like prison with its own sordid history of being haunted, and it was frequently used by Americans, Filipinos, and the Japanese as a place to dump people whenever they didn't know how to handle them, especially minors with no families to extort for money.
Yikes.
And this prison was so notoriously terrible that the UN has constituted its conditions as torture.
Like what? Like what do you... Like, they were just electrocuting people by having, like, wires exposed and puddles of water?
No access to facilities, no access to, like, water, no protection from the elements. You could die of exposure there.
Oh, my God.
Just really not a good place. And then plus, with violent deaths and violent history, especially in a prison that's 300 years old, you're going to get ghost stories and things like that. So... not good, and she was tossed into a cell to await trial, and this is when it really began to take a turn for the worse for the young teenager. And I looked into this for a while. The timeline is a little weird because some people say she freaked out and then was brought in. Some people say she freaked out in jail. The main consensus is she had solicited a plainclothes officer, went to prison, and then that's where the timeline gets weird because they're like, no, she freaked out outside, and then other people are like, no, she couldn't have freaked out outside, she was in prison. So we're going with she freaked out in prison.
Okay.
Okay. So on a stormy and humid night in May, the police at the prison could tell there was something off in the atmosphere of the area. Many seemed to be on edge, and there was a strange quiet that took over the cells, with the only noises coming from the deep rumbles of the looming thunderstorm. And the 1950s was a difficult time for Manila. Many police officers were on edge as they felt the streets were slowly being flooded with vagrants, thieves, and a various array of other criminals. Thus, the atmosphere of the evening had many of them concerned and uncomfortable, and they were basically waiting for the other shoe to drop. As water began to pool in front of some of the cells, they heard a terrified scream pierce the silence, and suddenly the prison was buzzing with concern from the other prisoners. From the noise, they assumed some sort of brawl or riot was beginning to take hold over the population. As the police made their way to the screams coming from Clarita's cell, they began to make out her desperate cries for help over the commotion of the other inmates. She was screaming, "Keep it away from me, keep it away, oh please, won't someone help me, I can't stand the pain."
Never a good sign.
No. So shocked because she was the only one making all this damn racket, the police officer stood outside her cell and watched in bewilderment as the girl was tossed about with unseen force.
Oh, demons.
The demons. They stated that they could see bite marks appearing on her body, specifically on her arms and neck. While they were too shocked at first to act, they eventually sprang into action and manacled her down because at this point they assumed she was either doing this to herself, was high on drugs, or was having some sort of epileptic seizure.
Classic plausible deniability.
Yep. And Clarita kept claiming that an attacker was pursuing her, trying to bite her to death and torture her no matter what they did to attempt to help her. Rationally, the officers wanted to dismiss what they were experiencing to simple drugs and or mental illness.
Simple as.
Yeah, they're like, it's just your run-of-the-mill, like,
drugs
degrading
and or,
diseases. Yeah. But even shackled and bound, more and more claw and bite marks continued to appear on her body. Eventually, they requested a doctor to come and examine her, and hoping that they were, like, whatever was going on had some sort of possible explanation. The police contacted Dr. Mariana Lara, who initially wanted to dismiss what they also described as just some sort of fit. She stood outside Clarita's cell, simply watching her as she screamed that The thing is coming at me. It's coming through the door.
I bet she sounded transatlantic like that too.
It's like, see? So Dr. Laura was still a little unconvinced and did literally nothing to help alleviate the girl's suffering. Instead,
That's like every doctor you go to see.
I know. This is actually my doctor. Thank you.
Yeah, you got the reference from this.
Yeah, so she literally just watched Clarita suffer and go through all this torment. But eventually Clarita did fall asleep. And then the doctor decided to just let the system take over and have the judge deal with Clarita the next morning at her trial for vagrancy. So after she left, other inmates commented to the residing officers that the poor girl continued to writhe through the night as if she were being tormented and was in constant pain. The next day, they woke Clarita up and began to transfer her to the courthouse, hoping that the previous night was more exaggerated than they remembered. Except right on fucking cue, Clarita began screaming that the thing was back and was attacking her. They dragged the distressed girl into court, where an entire array of witnesses and a judge saw the bite and claw marks once again appear on her skin seemingly without cause. Court reporters began gathering as much information about what was going on as they could, and the pandemonium of the court finally calmed down when Clarita eventually blacked out from the attack. The judge quickly summoned a medical officer who agreed with the doctor's previous assessment that Clarita's injuries were definitely not self-inflicted, but really had no plausible explanation. They're like, I don't know, she's maybe just having a fit. And at this point, the court officers made the decision to bring Clarita to a hospital where a full team could assess her injuries.
Nice. Another classic. Just leave it for the media to pick up a story for people to finally do something about it.
Yeah, a little embarrassed at that point. As the rumors began to spread over the next few days, the newspapers contributed to the gossip of writing about what they'd seen happening in court. And the attention caught the eye of Manila's mayor, Arseny Laxon, who summoned medical staff, including Dr. Lara again.
Get her out!
I know, fuck her.
Get
she
her out.
Didn't do it. To bring Clarita to his office so that he could have a look at her himself.
Also, I just like a mayor being like, yes, I would like to also look with my specialties in doctoral science.
Like, get her ass out of the hospital. She comes to me. I do not go to her. So, to make sure things could be documented by the police as well, the mayor called the police chief for backup. So together, they examined the girl and agreed that many of her injuries weren't possible for her to inflict upon herself. Specifically, a series of bite marks that appeared on the back of her shoulder. Like, you just can't.
Yeah, no shit.
Reach that. And again, Clarita descended into one of her fits, writhing and screaming so violently that it took the entire medical team to hold her down. As they did, all of them could see several bite marks appear on Clarita's body, even noting that some wounds exploded in blood from beneath their own hands as they held her down. So, like, they would put their hands on her, notice that, like, blood was squirting out, remove their hand, and there would just be a chunk of skin missing from a bite mark.
Whoa, that's fucking metal.
Crazy, right? And that picture there is Clarita in the bottom left, and the mayor, one of the doctors holding her down. Like, the reporters
Someone is
got it.
wearing glasses inside. And
I'd
that
like
is
to think it's the
also
police
the
chief.
scariest thing about this photo. Isn't that, like, it's probably demon possession, but that there's someone who was like, if this picture is going to be snapped, I need to look cool.
Oh my god. It's like the Corinthian from The Sandman where his eyes are just tiny mouths.
Literally.
That'd be cool. Oh my god.
You think that was the police chief? I think that was the mayor in the glasses. The type of guy who was like, I'm a mayor. I would like to be involved in this crime. Bring her to me. I know that I'm just supposed to be here passing policy, but I would like to play a little whodunit. I would like you to bring this victim and medical examiners to my mayoral office. I will cancel all of my appointments for the day so I could play a little game of Clue.
He was waiting for the right moment to whip the glasses off and be like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, see? And then she stole his thunder.
Yeah.
And he's upset. But the mayor later recounted how Clarita continued to scream that the thing and its demons were laughing as it tormented her, and told reporters that, quote, this is mayor talking, what it is beyond me. This is something that goes way back to the dark, dim past. That's like all he had to say. He was like, I don't fucking know.
Oh my god, he's such a good politician.
Yeah, he's like, no comprendo. They called an ambulance for Clarita, with the mayor and Dr. Lara riding with her.
Why the fuck?
Why not?
Does he not have anything else to do?
No. Like, Manila was, like, not the happening spot at the time, so he's like, I gotta do... This is literally the only way I can be
just,
helpful.
like, know that there are for sure potholes that could have been being filled that day, and he was like, nope, let me go on this ride-along.
It's like as a child when you're cleaning your room, and then you find, like, a coloring book from infancy, and you're like, I'm gonna spend the next 6 hours looking at this. Instead of, like, worrying about the major problem. That's what he did.
Yeah.
But the entire time they were in the ambulance, they witnessed more and more marks appearing on her right before their eyes. And he was so fucking scared that he ordered armed guards stay outside her room for a whopping 6 weeks.
To what? Like, fist fight the imaginary demons that no one saw?
Yeah, they just spray and pray, start shooting. It was called.
See, this is why, politics once again allocating funds where they don't belong.
Yeah.
The 6 weeks of wages for those guards to stay outside of her room to fight the invisible demons that no one saw, that money could have gone to literally anything else and have been more productive, but obviously this man doesn't make good decisions.
So what's crazy is those guards were actually on a street detail, and the 6 weeks that they weren't there, 700 people died in a mini riot. Just kidding.
See,
I made that up.
I would believe that. I would believe that.
I'm sure crime happened.
Crime happened. Yeah, for sure.
Like, the UN was literally just like, hey, your prison is terrible. And they're like, yeah, but we're guarding ghosts at the hospital. So
yeah, we need to expand the police budget for ghosts.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Oh my God, that would be cool, though, to have a ghost squad. That's the only time I'd want to be a member of the police, is if I could be on the ghost squad.
No way, dude. ACAB also includes the Ghostbusters.
Oh, man.
If they're being funded with the same police budget, ACAB includes them, too.
Does it? I don't know, man. I'd want to be a ghost cop. I'd be like, this is the thin, white line.
No way.
Fucking the veil on the other side.
Because a ghost cop, in theory, is probably... Think about it. I need you to put your thinking cap on. A ghost cop, in theory, is probably what all cops think they're doing. Is, like, in theory. They think that they're protecting and serving the communities. They think that they are brave. They think that they are heroic, admirable members of society that keep us safe and protect us.
That's what I want to be, Noelle. I want to be a delusional hero.
Think that they're the same thing, but at the end of the day, both of them are killing unarmed black teenagers, and that just is what it is.
I go into a party. I want you to imagine it. I go into a party at the Billy Club. I just start fucking swinging. Because I'm beating the hell out of ghosts. Everybody's just watching. The little girl in the corner's crying. I'm just wildly attacking.
Yeah.
I put handcuffs on, zip ties, and then I just haul all the ghosts out of there. And
this is the thing. This is such a slippery slope. This is the only slippery slope argument that I'll ever agree with. Because it's like... Cops already make up fanciful tales to explain away their horrendous crimes. Imagine if they were like, but it was a ghost, and I'm pretty sure it was a ghost, and they're like, sir, you just murdered an entire orphanage.
Yeah, you brought in Casper? He's a friendly ghost.
There was a ghost. There was for sure a ghost, and they were like, by ghost, do you mean, like, public school?
No. I want to show up to a cemetery and I want to be like, get the paddy wagon. And then I just go running into the night. That's it.
It's like, that the people who would apply and get the job of being a ghost cop too would just be like the worst of the worst, like the rejects of police academy. So if like someone even snaps too loud, they're shooting. They're shooting.
Right.
Because like if they're going to give a police officer like, tactical weapons and access to like fucking military grade tanks and shit for riot controls. Imagine what they're giving ghost cops. They have fucking drones as far as I'm concerned.
Imagine I'm actually at an area and a real fight breaks out, and I'm just like, this is not my fight, not my jurisdiction. Meanwhile, like just some guy is just punching a baby parade. And I'm just like, not my fight. Not my fight.
A baby parade.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But anyway, so the moral of the story is ACAP includes ghost cops.
I don't know.
It does.
That sucks, man. It'd be so fun to be a ghost cop.
I bet a lot of people thought it would be fun to be a real cop, too. But Look at that. Look how that turned out.
I'm sure they're having fun.
Yeah, I bet it's really cool committing murder and getting away with
Probably.
it.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I love pulling over women and sexually harassing them with no consequences for my actions.
Oh man, imagine ghost court, because you'd have to have ghost court for all the crimes that you commit on the ghost population as a ghost cop.
I just really see it, like, them being like, officer, like, Your Honor, I swore it was a ghost. It was a ghost when it appeared to me. And it's just like a woman being like, I said, excuse me, at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And he's like, ma'am, you were a phantom.
Look how pale she is.
You're a phantom.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy.
Just arresting ghosts for loitering because they're like tied to the place they were killed at. And they're like, I can't leave. There's no rest.
Oh my god. Anyway.
and
Back
then
to
guess
ghost
what?
cops.
Literally nothing happened after that. That's why this was a short episode originally. There's literally
so
fucking
she
nothing.
just got like kind of fucked with, and then they were like, bye, loser.
Her scars healed. They were still visible. She still looked fucked up, but she never suffered another demonic attack ever again.
Damn, apparently ghosts are afraid of ghost cops.
Yeah, you see? But that was it. That's why this was originally tabled. Because once that was done, like, Clarita disappeared. She was done at that point. She did not cash in on this at all. It was so traumatic and so vile that she likely went back to the streets under a completely different name or moved out of Manila, but she was just fucking done. I have to cough.
Okay, let it out. There she goes. Oh, another one. Jesus Christ. No wonder why everyone's getting sick right now.
Now, this is where we pick back up on it again. This is why we've untabled it, so to say, or so to speak. So there are really easy ways to do what Dr. Lara did and dismiss what was happening to Clarita, specifically that she was faking it and or was having some sort of physical response, such as epilepsy or drug withdrawal. Even the religious folks in the area believed that she was being attacked by demons, and it was only through a miracle of the church that she was spared so quickly. And they were like, yep, victory for the church. Hands are clean. We literally don't have to help this woman, even though she desperately needs, like, social programs to help her out. But you know what? Fuck her. We did our job.
Yeah, classic Catholicism. Taking the dub.
And obviously, we're not here to buy into that story. Especially when you look at the lore and mythology of cryptids in the Philippines.
Oh, that's a turn I didn't expect.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. So Clarita did not buy the epilepsy withdrawal possession either. And we know that because she was quoted as saying that she described her attackers as evil-looking men clothed in black, collectively called the Thing by media news outlets. One was a small cherubic figure about 2 to 3 feet in height, with snow white hair and a large mustache. The other one, I know. The other one was quite large, had 2 sharp fangs, and was covered in dark curly hair on its head, chest, and arms. 2 entities in Filipino folklore somewhat fit these descriptions: the Black Duende and the Capre. So the Duende is a figure out of folklore and is pretty prevalent in Filipino culture in the same way leprechauns are to the Irish. Part of their etymology in Filipino and Tagalog translates them to roughly being old men of the mound, and a lot of their history is actually really similar to what we likely already know about leprechauns. That is, they are fairly jovial creatures who are known to play with children, but can become angry and hostile if someone were to step on their mound or home, you know, kind of like what we think with the toadstools.
Or take their gold, as we know through the Leprechaun series.
100%. So, when triggered into a more mischievous state, they can harass humans and have even been known to take small children. And the way I would describe looking at them would be the horror leprechaun, because if you look at that picture there, it's like very Jennifer Aniston fought this man at one point in her early career.
Yeah.
The Capre is a creature known to sit in trees, smoke, and watch humans. Now
that sounds like every dude I've ever matched with.
It's fucking Oliver is what it is.
Sit in trees, smoke, and just watch everyone.
Like, I don't want to participate. I just want to sit here, enjoy a nice cigar, and, you know, hang out in nature. Bigfoot, if you would.
Yeah.
So now and then, there are some stories, though, where they can fall in love with human women, and they also love to play pranks on people who travel through the woods. Similar to the duende, they can make themselves invisible and love to trick humans when they feel so inclined. It is said that if you find yourself disoriented in the woods or mountains, or often feel confused in outdoor surroundings that you're familiar with, you have come into the presence of a capre.
Can you get out the same way? Like, what is it, by like putting yourself upside down or looking between your legs?
No.
Or like through the little witch's stone
You
to
know,
like see your
that
way
would
out?
actually be cool to like go into this, because it would be fun to do a longer episode about these. But
How to beat
have you
them.
ever been driving and you're like driving past a place that you drive past all the time and you're like, where the fuck am I? And they're like, oh,
Every
and then
day.
it comes back.
Every
I do
day.
that all the time. There's like an area between Layton and Ogden, that like Roy stretch where you go past Hill Air Force Base, where I'm like, this is the fog zone is essentially what I call it, because every time I'm driving past there, I'm like, this doesn't look familiar at all. It's kind of a feeling like that, and I'm like, there's a fucking capre out here getting my ass. It was very scary as I was writing this.
This is tough for me to relate to personally, because I just don't. I think I would feel out of place and disoriented in any woods or mountains. So maybe I'm always a victim out there.
But there's also stories when people are sitting in their own gardens, like outside of their house, and they're like, "This doesn't look familiar at all," and they get that like really weird
that would be
feeling.
Cool. That would be cool.
And then they, they snap out of it, and it's like, capre got me. Like a capre was here.
It's, I would be curious if there's some like spillover into like, have you ever looked into a mirror for too long and like kind of like disassociated and was like, wait, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like the same thing. I wonder if like that's another way to like tap into these like folklore realms.
Yeah. We did this thing in Abnormal Psych once, where when you're falling asleep, if you like plug your ears and you say your name in your head over and over and over again, now and then you'll hear like someone else say your name, or your brain tricks you that someone's saying your name in the outside world. And I've done it a few times, but it's creepy because you're just like, Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. Like you literally just go and go and go. And then it sounds like someone, like your mom is calling you, like, Chelsea. And you're like,
are you saying it like out loud or just in your head?
Yes. I don't remember how I did it.
What the fuck do you mean? Yes, I asked you 2 questions.
Yeah. I think you just, in your head, you can just go, saying your name. And then it sounds like someone's saying it outside of your head, into your ear. And it's wild. It is wild.
That's fun. See, that's, I'm just, there's got to be something to that, and like the mirrors thing, and like just about like tapping into like even a subconscious realm of thinking and time. I don't know.
It's a lizard brain, man.
I know, man. There's something to it.
I saw, I think we've talked about this before, but it was like the idea of the uncanny valley. Like when we look at something and we're like, that's not human, and it kind of freaks us out. And then somebody was like, yeah, that's an evolutionary response, because we had to learn through our evolution that things that look human but aren't are dangerous to us, and that's why we fear them. And I'm like, what the fuck looked like a human that was dangerous to us so
the Nordics, duh.
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy?
The Nordic aliens, obviously.
There's like another thing that was saying like babies love mobiles above their crib because, or like they're fascinated by them. Because it's like birds used to abduct caveman babies. So it's like you're scaring your kid, or like they're taught to fixate on stuff like that to like watch for danger.
That's a fun one.
The OG like big ass eagles the size of a bus used to come down, like the thunderbirds from the sky, and just swoop up little babies. And that's why babies are fascinated by mobiles.
Wow.
I know, weird, right?
I believe it.
Anyway. There's also some mythos about the capre that when fireflies are out and about, you may often see a pair of them unmoving in the distance, as if they are frozen in midair. The Filipino people believe that these are actually the eyes of the capre, watching under the cover of darkness, using the light from the fireflies to blend in. That would be fucking cool. Imagine you're out there watching like all these fireflies buzzing around, and then you just see a pair of them unmoving.
That's like... That would just be like seeing a little, like, fox's eyes in the night, right? What do you mean?
Just
like glowing eyes?
Okay. Yeah, but they use the light of the fireflies to blend in.
Oh, okay. It's nefarious. Okay.
So it is also said that if you ever hear rustling in the woods and there's no breeze, you're actually hearing a capre move from one tree to the other.
Oh, good. That's really great for like my already paranoid brain outside walking the dogs.
I know, right? It's scary. And that would be fun to really do an episode, though, on like all the different ways you can keep yourself from being abducted by like just anything. Like
I
the
know.
fairies, it's cool because you like put your head between your knees and you walk around as upside down as you can, like folded in half.
Dude, yeah, we've got to, if we're willing to give all this free press to all these cryptids, we've got to, give everyone's arsenal a little touch
Yeah.
up. Because there are no ghost police. You have to protect yourself.
Yeah. We got to be our own ghost guerrilla army.
It's true.
So, last but not least, we have the Tiyanak, otherwise known as the Filipino vampire. These generally take the form of a toddler or baby and cry to lure in unsuspecting victims. Did you just see the picture of it?
Yeah,
A little like Beetlejuice looking baby.
It literally is like Beetlejuice as a worm.
Yeah.
That face on a baby's body.
100%. So Clarita, a woman of the streets and sensitive to the plight of abandoned children, having felt as if she was one herself, would have been the perfect victim for a kid vampire to target, and would have been easy picking if you really think about it. She was constantly on the streets. She was wandering around looking for Johns. Like, if she would have heard the cry of a baby, she would have immediately gone to it. You know what I mean? She was a kind person. And it is believed that Clarita did hear the cries of one of these vampires, and as soon as she picked the child up to comfort it, she was caught in the fucking web and could not escape. Because these vampires are a little different than the ones we may think of in our Western culture. And they actually like to take more delight in torturing their victims rather than just doing a one and done blood drinking extravaganza.
Do these baby vampires speak?
No, they just cry. It'd be creepy.
Also,
I bet they have like a really sweet, angelic, melodic voice with like, "Come play with us."
I'm just saying, I could kick the shit out of that fucking baby vampire. If that baby vampire came at me, I would punt its ass to a different fucking country.
It's like a siren. They lure you in with the cries, and you're like, "What a little baby vamp!"
Guess
and then
what?
you pick it up, and it's like,
not gonna work on me, bitch.
Yeah.
Not gonna work on me.
It's
First of all, a baby crying, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
and
go
then
the
I
other
go over to the baby crying, and it turns out to be that little fucking goblin. Also, that's kind of what all babies look like to me anyway. And it tries to bite me. You're a baby, bitch. You get dropped and kicked.
Yeah, you're getting punted.
You're getting punted.
I'm getting the extra goal at the Super Bowl because you're gone.
Straight up. Straight the fuck up.
I'm licking my finger. I'm detecting a breeze.
Yeah.
I'm making the corrections. You're gone.
I'm lining it the fuck up. I'm stretching out and I'm lining it the fuck up. I cannot believe that. That is that shit I love. This is the shit I love. Because other cryptids, you're like, they would get my ass. They would fold me. They would clap me.
This one,
that's a literal fucking baby. And it's not even a toddler. It's a baby that has to be carried by an adult. So guess what? Guess what fucking happens? You try to come at me, literal baby?
Like,
tossed.
It's like a little Chucky doll, like.
Yeah, it's less than Chucky though. Chucky has more like I don't know what you'd call that, like coordination, the ability to stand and walk. And then this fucking baby, crawling. Are you kidding me? Ain't no fucking way. That's a basket toss.
Sometimes the crawling could be creepier. Like if a grown ass man is crawling at me at a normal speed.
But that's a grown ass man. This is a baby.
Yeah.
This is a literal baby. A little baby.
You put it in a pack and play and it's just fucking taken out of commission.
Yeah. It has its weakness is everything.
Yeah.
Weakness, life. Weakness, the environment in which it's in.
You put up a mobile and it's like the birds are coming and it's done. Yeah.
Straight up. This motherfucker comes at you, kicked. Straight up field goal. Straight up goal. That motherfucker's gone.
You're the Lionel Messi of kicking babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Like, are you kidding me? I am so not afraid of this little fucker. There's no way. I would literally like get ready to do like a fucking volleyball spike with it straight up. Ooh,
well, it looks cute until you pick it up, and then it gets you. It's like the Jurassic Park scene where the guy goes in with with the dinosaur. Then it's like,
what's faster? Me or a fucking baby? This motherfucker just learned how to put its head up straight without breaking.
It may not still. Your hatred for babies is faster than the speed of fucking light. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Also, guess what a baby's number one fucking Achilles heel is, besides its literal Achilles heel.
That soft little exposed non-solid skull.
Not just even that. Think simpler and smaller. Think
Peanut
it's already
butter.
in your hands.
Shake it. You just
Shake it.
like a little
You shake that motherfucker. You shake that motherfucker. You shake that motherfucker till its brains come out its fucking ears. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Fuck that baby, dog. Come at me. I welcome it. Oh, I'll shake you. I'll shake you.
Yeah,
I'll shake you.
so
I'm
no
trying
one's
to get the
immune to this.
last bit of mustard out of the fucking container. I'm shaking you. So, anyway.
So these vampires come about when a pregnant woman dies before giving birth, which subsequently causes the spirit of the unborn baby to mutate through the earth and return in the form of an evil baby vampire.
I'll beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. In more modern ideology, they are either babies who died before they could be baptized, or the souls of aborted fetuses.
Oh, whoa, boo.
Yeah, I know.
Boo-hoo. Oh, guess what? I'm going to slam dunk on you again.
Either way.
You're going to die once, come back, die again by me. I'll do it twice.
No, it's just out here like snapping necks from here to Christmas.
Straight up.
She's the Van Helsing of the Filipino vampires.
I'll smack him on the head with a Bible, man. I don't give a fuck.
You could even give them just like a little bit of baby Benadryl, and then they just go right to sleep. Super easy.
It's a baby. I give him an ibuprofen and it dies.
Yeah, God. Just too much Tylenol and it's done. So either way, these babies come back like the infantata and raise hell on earth. And there are ways to repel them other than just everything that we've gone into.
Yeah, you mean everything? Think of anything.
Literally
Cold
anything.
Weather. Cold weather, too hot of heat, no water, just like anything that would kill your average baby. And surprise, they are very killable.
Yeah, very killable. But there are ways to repel them or break their curse, because once they get you, you're cursed, right? So it is likely that Clarita had one of these methods happen by happenstance, so to speak. So here's so similar to other vampires, you can use your typical garlic or rosary to repel them and send them on their way. Or you can trick them into going into the afterlife by lighting white candles, which, because they're stupid babies, tricks them. They go to the light, literally, and then they get to go.
Or you could take the candle, throw it at their head, and it'll probably take them out, too.
Yeah. So they're just done. Most interesting, though, this is where we kind of get into like fairy shit, is the thought that if you turn your clothing inside out, the vampire baby will find you so humorous and ridiculous that they will leave you alone to find other prey. So
or
it is
take your jacket off.
Just put it over the
grab
baby.
the baby.
Yeah.
Shake it.
They just had to they have like baby weighted blankets, and it was killing babies. They had to recall them. You just put you could just put a wet down feathered coat on a baby, and it's done.
Straight up.
So
you don't have to turn your clothes inside out and look like an asshole
I don't know.
at a hospital.
You know what's going to happen?
Take the baby and start swinging it against the walls.
You're going to get attacked by a vampire baby, and you're going to be too big for your damn britches, and it's going to get your ass.
I'll knock that motherfucker.
You're going to go to kick it, slip on a banana peel, look up, and the baby's already in your face.
Well, guess what? Then I fall forward onto the baby, crush it with my body weight, because again, me versus baby, I always win.
Yeah.
That's
all right,
a fight I will
right.
always win. The house always wins when you're fighting a baby.
Yeah. Wait, let me write that down. House.
Especially an ugly ass baby like that. Yeah, I'm fucking coming at his ass.
Okay, perfect. All right, so it is thought that when Clarita was being bounced from the prison to the hospital, her clothing was changed from what she had been wearing at the time of the attack to a hospital gown, which, in the chaos and hustle and bustle of her fit, happened to be put on inside out, which immediately repelled the vampire baby, and she was free to go.
Ain't no way fucking vampire baby fuck that girl up, man. There's no fucking way.
What do you think got her? Out of all the possibilities, demons, epilepsy, drugs.
I'll just say
Frittata.
demons. I'll say demons because it's fun. I'll say demons because it's fun for sure. But also, maybe just a homeless person living in the ceiling,
Yeah,
coming down
probably.
and biting her in the night.
I like the little duende leprechaun guy because she was saying that they like had mustaches, and I know a leprechaun has a
Yeah.
good stash. So
I also know most creeps have mustaches, so I would also agree with that.
so yeah, that's it.
But I can tell you for certain, no vampire baby. No vampire baby. I dare him to come.
I don't want to be dark-sided, but I do hope you get humbled by a murderous baby sometime in your life.
I wish a motherfucker would. I wish a motherfucker would.
You're gonna be at the mall. You're gonna be at the mall, and a lady's gonna be pushing a stroller, and the baby's gonna be looking at you, and then you're gonna look at the baby, look up at the mirrored ceilings that they have in the mall sometimes. No reflection. You're gonna have to go missile kick that baby,
bro. If a baby bites me because it's teething, I have a reflex. You know what I mean? I have a reflex, or I'll just like accidentally drop it or like plop it to somewhere else. So imagine a vampire baby. It's almost like intuition to fucking kick that bitch.
I don't think it's fair that you say ACAB to my ghost cop dream while you are talking about fucking up vampire babies. That's a little ACAB-y to me too. You vampire cop. You baby vampire cop.
No way. Does ACAB also include Van Helsing? That's the question.
I don't know.
That's the question.
He's like a church cop, man.
Honestly, might be the worst. Might be the capital A in the ACAB.
Yeah, maybe.
Damn, that's a question. Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, would you rather be a vampire baby cop or a ghost cop? Because you have to be a bastard one way or the other.
Everyone's gonna be a vampire baby cop because it's a fucking dub every day.
I want to be a ghost cop, man. I'm up for the challenge.
Well, have fun being in fucking civil court all the time when I'm out here just punching holes through babies' fucking soft heads.
The baby comes to court to sue you, and it's wearing like a little neck brace, and they're trying. It's like
no, they would no way. It would not. It would be disconnected two pieces. Unless it could like remold itself afterwards. There's no fucking way that baby's showing up to court. I'll tell you that much.
It's in its little bassinet, just laying there staring at you.
Yeah, and then I push it. Again, I always win. I always win versus a baby. So.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. If the babies existed, Noelle be swinging. That's it.
Fucking swing through them too, soft-headed motherfuckers.
The Babe Ruth of just straight knocking babies out of the park. Great.
You know, that's what they call me.
Yeah. And they're more like, Baby Ruth, what's up?
Baby killer Ruth.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Let's, speaking of killing babies, if there's one person who would think that's pretty radical, it's the person that doesn't exist, but I like to pretend they do. So they're going to get a Hail Satan.
Hail the Filipino leprechauns, because I think they're neat.
And speaking of Filipino leprechauns, you cannot find them in the bio of our social media pages, but you can find a link tree, and that will take you to our Patreon. Dollar Get You In. Fantastic episode this week. But actually, if you think about it, they live in the same realm, what we just got done talking about and what we talk about on the episode. But please remember, you do sign an NDA when you participate in listening to Patreon. So you better shut your
I just got the connection.
mouth.
That's so offensive.
It's dark. Maybe it's dark, but they don't know unless they pay $1 to get into the Patreon.
No, they don't. Mm-hmm.
You can also find links to our Discord server, our Facebook group, if you use that for whatever reason. Kelly Holloran, or at Wild Wood Owl's Etsy page. She makes cool shit for us, and she also makes cool shit that you should also check out and buy. Our merch is up there, and for whatever reason, if you need it, I'm not sure why though, links to listen to us, but you seem to be doing totally fine with that right now. So, happy fucking New Year, I guess.
Yeah. My New Year's resolution had always just been love myself like Kanye loves Kanye, but now that he's just fucking awful.
You gotta fucking let go. What's your New Year's resolution?
I don't know, maybe get those platform Crocs off of Etsy sometime. Aim low. Swing low, sweet chariot.
Yeah, if that's what you want. But if that's what you want, we could do a little gifty. I know, yeah. So I'll find the lady that I got mine from, and I'll see if she has them in white for you. My New Year's resolution is to continue losing weight and continue getting hotter. So
I'd like to get hotter. Maybe I'd like to have enough financial responsibility to sign up or to save enough money to get my lips did.
there you go. See, I'll count that as get hotter.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, onward and upward.
Straight up.
All right. Bye.
Bye.